Hello and welcome back to another History of Godzilla. This time with, well, one of my favorite Godzilla films of all time. Phil might disagree, GMK.
Don't get me wrong, I like the film and I can sit through it and I can watch it and thoroughly enjoy it, but it was just never the production that it was supposed to have been, and it always
There were
disappointed
so
me.
many issues in this production, and that's why it's getting its own video.
Yes,
and not just out of respect for Kaneko as a filmmaker, because he is an amazing filmmaker.
He really is.
If you have never seen the Gamera trilogy, do yourself a favor and watch those films.
Have you watched any other films by Kaneko outside that have you? I'd like to actually find some other films by him.
They're a little hard to find, but they're totally worth it.
Yeah, because I know shortly after GMK apparently he did like a comedy musical. He decided to try something way off.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Just out of curiosity, but yeah. But no, this is again. I remember the announcement that everybody was all excited that Kaneko, the guy who did the amazing Gamera trilogy, is now going to helm a Godzilla movie.
Yep.
And
that pretty much just blew up.
He had a particular vision for this movie. He had an idea for it. He had a certain tone to it.
Yep.
And
unfortunately, he did not get the time, and he did not get the.
It's studio interference.
Yeah.
Toho decided they wanted to step in, and I call it the Spider-Man 3 syndrome. It kind of...
Pretty much. It's basically, you have this much time to finish the project, deal with it.
And it was also, it's like, these ideas, these aren't going to make any money. All the Toho sees is dollar signs, so they want you to go with what they consider to be bankable. So they told him to make massive changes to it. And
here's the thing about the film. 3 versions of this film exist.
Exist? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because what they shot was the 3rd version.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Basically, there were at least 2 scripts before this that existed as well.
Script-wise, yes. They went through a lot of...
the first one was Godzilla facing off with a revamped Kamacuras from Son of Godzilla. But Toho scrapped it due to the previous film featuring another giant insect.
Right.
The second one was going to be Godzilla battling a new alien monster in a futuristic setting, but the script was considered too dark for a Godzilla film. And of course...
And I remember something about that it was based off of an idea, actually, that came years and years earlier, that was way back as far as one of the ideas for Godzilla 85, and that had been brushed under the carpet, so they were going to pick that one up again, but no, they didn't like it.
And of course, the third one, which became what we all saw, the Guardian Beasts idea, but it featured instead Anguirus, Varan, and Baragon.
Yeah.
But they were considered unbankable.
They didn't think that enough fans knew who Varan or Anguirus or even Baragon, for that matter, were. Because the big money makers, they had...
Kaneko had to fight to get Baragon even in there.
Yeah, because they like the big names. They like Ghidorah, they like Mothra, they like, which is what they use. They like all these Mechagodzilla, like all these big names, because those are what they see that people most recognize with.
And people will go to see.
But unfortunately, the fact that they were forcing this on him missed the point of his movie, missed the point of his vision, and that's why I take a bit of issue with this film, because this just feels like it wasn't the movie it was supposed to be.
And I can only imagine what this film would have been like if they had given him like the 2 years that he would have needed to do it right.
Yeah, and just left him alone with the script. Let him do it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just...
I mean, Gamera 3 is a masterpiece because they gave him the time to do it.
I just gave him the time, and they gave him the money and the budget, and let him just do his thing with it, and that's why it turned out to be this fantastic film that it was. And so, but...
And it still stands up.
It does, yeah.
Even almost 20 years later.
It does. Absolutely it does. So, and that's why, and don't get me wrong, to watch GMK, you can see some fantastic visual
there
shots.
are just some great visual shots in this.
The effects director was
the same guy who worked on Gamera.
3, and I'm drawing a blank on his name.
I cannot remember his name.
But he is,
because
it's the same guy who also did Attack on Titan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I think also continued to work on Shin Godzilla.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Yeah.
But he's a fantastic visionary for a effects person. And so it just all meshed together really well. So even though this film isn't the original vision, it still holds up as really visually a fantastic film to watch. There's good characters, good characterization.
Yeah. Actually, I'll even go a bit deeper there. The characters here make you feel for them.
Yeah.
They feel like real characters.
They're thrown right into the middle of the situation.
Exactly. They don't know what's going on.
They're not kind of standing on a hill watching the final battle taking place. They're actually right down in the thick of it and in the middle of the situation.
Yeah.
And as you said, they don't know what exactly is going on through the whole situation. And
again, this is a dark Godzilla film.
It is, yeah.
And Godzilla is intentionally evil, which never been done in the series up until this point, other than 1954.
The original,
but you're still supposed to feel for Godzilla in that film.
Yeah.
Another issue that Toho had with the film was that Godzilla is an unfeeling character in this.
Right.
But I honestly think for this particular film, it works so well.
It does, yeah. It's, most people know kind of the basic plot that he's supposed to now be. I think he's the essence of all the souls of the soldiers
killed in the Pacific War.
In the Pacific War. So and now it's sort of their
hence why he has no pupils.
Yeah.
To show that he's just
the soulless creature.
Soulless.
Yeah. So it's the they bumped the height a little bit to 60 meters. I think part of that was because the suit was just so damn big. It was this huge cumbersome suit. Huge friggin' feet on this thing.
Now, originally in this, Godzilla was supposed to walk with his back and tail parallel to the ground.
Like a dinosaur. Sort
of
thing.
However, it caused strain on the suit actor, so the idea was dropped.
Yeah. I think this probably worked better anyways because he
oh god, yeah. It looks like a lumbering creature that just is coming to kill you.
And legs are so enormous on this. But it was. And if you remember, that was the whole scene with the girl that was in the hospital. I mean, that was kind of the whole point. Is that even though she had survived his first attack, that you couldn't escape. Yeah.
There is no escape. He's gonna kill you.
I'll say this too. It also has the most fantastic visual way of depicting his atomic breath of any film that I've seen.
Oh, honestly, when I first saw that first atomic breath scene, my jaw dropped.
It was pretty incredible the way he kind of almost absorbs into him and then it fires back.
Just that scene of the children looking out at this atomic mushroom cloud. I'm like, and that is how you show power and fear.
I mean, the only other time that I've seen his breath that effective or worse was up until Shin Godzilla. So but that was pretty impressive seeing the way they did that. I wish they would kind of do that in more films, but
and honestly, like I said, it brought the fear back. You felt that this was a creature you don't want to mess with.
Because it was certain. I would have loved to have seen that theatrically, just to kind of have the surround sound. Impact of that.
I would kill to see GMK theatrically.
And somebody's have to get on that and get that shown. I think the only screening that it ever, I could be wrong. I'd like to find if there was more, but I think G-Fest was the only one who got it.
I think it might have also been shown at Fantasia Fest in Montreal, but I could be wrong. But I think it did.
But the first I know was the year after its release. They had it in at the Pickwick Theatre for G-Fest in 2004. 2003 or 2004. Yeah. In 2003, I think. Yeah, but I know they did get a special showing of that.
Now, the other monsters in this particular film were made to be intentionally smaller than Godzilla, as to show just how strong and unbeatable Godzilla is.
Which is why Ghidorah is reduced to be the smaller looking creature.
But as Varan was not used the creature designer put the facial features of Varan onto Ghidorah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So he got his Varan in there in an unintentional way.
I would love to see what he would have done with the Anguillas.
Oh, it would have been.
Granted, the flying sequences of Mothra were the most impressive they had done yet. Because now this was the first time we'd seen Mothra again since Mothra 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But now it's they really actually depicted this thing with the wings flapping and looking more natural in flight as this thing circled. Especially that scene over the tower where Godzilla tries to shoot his ray at Mothra and is following it.
That's an impressive scene.
That's quite a sequence, I gotta say. That was, so to have something like, and I've often wondered if because the original plan was Varan and Anguillas, they're ground creatures, but Varan did do these flying leaps, so I was wondering if what he had in mind for that, if he was going to make Varan
Was he going to leap from building to building or something like that?
It would have been,
that would have been interesting.
But there was quite a lot of CGI graphics. It was quite a light show at the end of that.
Now, the film had a budget of just over $9 million and opened as a double bill with Hamtaro, Ham's Big Land Adventure. So,
which is considering this is one of the darkest Godzilla films ever made.
I think there were some children who probably were left crying after this. The film made a total gross of $20 million, and when it came to North America, it was shown edited on the Sci-Fi Channel on August 31st, 2003.
Okay. I'm going to say edited. I'm just wondering what it was if they...
As in they cut it down for TV.
That's too bad. Let's see, what else you got there on your notes? We're looking at his notes here, but...
Again, Kaneko was given a very limited time to produce this film.
Yeah, he really... There's scenes that were...
They gave him, I think, 6 to 9 months. He needed at least 2 years.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you can tell in quite a few of the effect shots that they are just unfinished.
There was a down shot, I know particular down shot of the ships when the egg comes out. I have to watch it, it's been a while, but that was, and you can tell they look CGI in the water, and unfortunately, that was not the final. That was not the final shot.
And they could have done so much better if they'd just given them the time. I'd also like to promote that this is a Gamera reunion film.
That's true.
Pretty much the entire cast of the 3 Gamera films are in this film. Whether in very small roles, like the Mothra twins just kind of looking up.
Yes,
or the scene with the suicidal man who is also from the Gamera trilogy.
He's a comedian in Japan. Actually. I can't think of his name now, but See, that was the thing too with the fact that they kind of converted one of the monsters to Mothra. Is you can't do the whole Mothra lore properly. It was just one of the guardian monsters, but they left out the whole aspect of the twins being in it, and even the larva really didn't play that big of a part, and it was very short-lived. So it never really got to fully unfold. It didn't feel properly.
The whole reveal scene is also really dark, with teenagers just like almost killing a dog, and
that was
it really does not feel like a typical Godzilla film.
No, it doesn't.
But that's a good thing to me, honestly. And it's one of the reasons why it's so high on my list of top Godzilla films. It's like number 2. Now, I know you might disagree, because you love the American Godzilla so much better. No, kidding. But quite honestly, this film, though it has issues, is still quite honestly one of the most original Godzilla films in the entire franchise, and is worth seeing if you get the chance.
You can still put this in the DVD player, and I'll sit and watch the whole thing from beginning to end. I'm thoroughly entertained by this.
One of the best things about the whole film is the music as well.
Because they got Ko Otani to do it. It is a little bit. This particular score is a little bit repetitive. You'll hear the same strings used over and over.
But it works.
Again, it does.
It really works.
Again, I think he was strained for time.
Yeah.
He couldn't write the big full lush score that he did for the Gamera movies. But this is still, it makes this really exciting kind of pounding.
And I mean, when you get the team behind the Gamera films doing a Godzilla film, it turned out fantastically well. In all honesty.
A couple of things too, we should point out just in the monsters. A few people know this. I'm sure diehard fans know, but Baragon was portrayed by a female suit monster, which I think hadn't been done since Gaios. It's now become a more common thing. But at the time, it wasn't.
Of course, they also took away Baragon's powers in this.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot a ray in this.
Doesn't have fire breath and does not shoot a ray out of his horn. But he does dig.
He still digs. Goes underground.
He still digs.
His horn though didn't. In Frankenstein, his horn didn't shoot a ray. He shot a ray from his mouth, but his horn just lit up. It just lit orange. But this it doesn't.
Does not light
doesn't do that. But it's a really cool design. This was an amazing revamp.
It's so emotive.
It is. Yeah.
It's honestly it's kind of cute.
It is. Yeah.
Which they kind of comment in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cute as it's crushing the countryside.
And again, that's actually a really, really good shot. When is because they're trying to get a picture in front of this thing, and she's like, "Oh, it looks so cute," and she wants to get a picture of it. Is when they turn around and see Godzilla's head come over. Yeah, which I think is a slight nod to the
original '54 film. Yeah,
and then he ends up busting through the whole mountainside.
Yeah, it's like F this mountain coming through. Yeah. This is also the first time that they mention the American Godzilla.
Yeah, they drop a hint at that at the beginning.
Yeah. They say a creature, Godzilla attacked New York, but most people don't believe it.
We don't believe it.
So that was a nice little jab there, Kaneko, and I quite approve of that.
So it was done slight tongue in cheek, but not quite too obviously.
Yeah. And we wouldn't see American Godzilla again for a few years.
Yeah. You know, actually, too, is that this again was another film that used CGI for Godzilla underwater when he falls back into the water and then turns and swims. And a couple of shots of Ghidorah flying.
And Mothra.
And Mothra as well. Yeah. So there was a few good CGI shots of the monsters, and these that actually kind of worked really well. It's too bad again, I think he wanted to use a little bit more because
he really did.
Yeah, there's a shot, unfortunately, you see Ghidorah like flying towards the bridge and you get the motion of him. Yeah. But when he circles and comes back, you'll see it cuts back to the puppet that just kind of turns. I mean, it's one of those shots that you feel like, that looks like there wasn't supposed to be there.
That was not finished.
Yeah.
And there are a few shots in the film that are like that, and it's really unfortunate, but it really doesn't detract either from the movie as a whole.
The funny thing is, even though they were unfinished shots, everything flowed. Unlike when we were talking prior to...
Quite honestly, this is one of the best stories in a Godzilla film.
It's one of the best... it's also, I would say, up until Shin Godzilla, it was one of the best looking films. Too.
No, it still looks amazing.
I was going to say, in comparison to when we were just reviewed Megaguirus, where the effect shots were so uneven, where it went for the lighting would change and you'd go...
Again... Megaguirus had the cardinal sin of being boring,
which
and not very much character, whereas this had characters up the wazoo, and just it flowed so well.
Actually, a little point in here. I don't know if too many people know this was the name of the submarine at the end of the movie is the Satsuma, which is the name of the Godzilla suit actor for the Heisei series. So there was another little tiny little nod there, which I thought was really, really clever. Actually, it was a nice nod to Kenpachiro Satsuma as well. So, but no, this is it's definitely one that, even though is unusual, and a lot of people said that it was maybe a bit of a refreshing change at the time. Because
I mean, the reviews are kind of middling for it, but I honestly think if you've never seen it, it is well worth your time to watch it.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah.
It's going to really change your mind on what a Godzilla film can be.
Can be, yeah. And I said, the only reason I have ever taken issue is because I know it's not the original vision.
No, and I will gladly, as great a film as it is, I will gladly agree on that fact that they should have given Kaneko the 2 years he needed.
I would say give him the 2 years and just left him alone with his original script.
Yeah.
As fantastic as Ghidorah and Mothra looked, they felt out of place.
I
would have loved to have seen what he would have done with Anguillas and Varan if he. And it's not. And this is where I say Toho was actually out of touch with their fans.
Yeah.
Varan and Anguillas would not have been unbankable.
No.
I mean, for crying out loud, they agreed to Mega Gyarados the movie before.
Yeah.
They've agreed to Batra and Biolante
and besides,
these things that never existed.
Anguirus comes back in a couple movies anyway.
And he does come back anyways.
Pretty much the entire franchise comes back in a couple films.
If you have a fantastic looking film with a fantastic director, it doesn't matter which creature you would have used. You would have made that back anyways.
Yeah.
In fact, I would have thrown it at hazard guess. I probably would have done better if they had left him alone with this.
Quite honestly, I agree with that wholeheartedly, and unfortunately, it soured Kaneko. It soured Kaneko.
He did. He left after it and said goodbye.
And he's not done a giant monster film ever since.
No.
And
not only has he not done a giant monster film, I don't think he ever went back to Toho either.
No.
He was angry with them actually when he left.
And he has every right to be angry with them.
He was, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong on this again, somebody might be able to correct me out there, I think he was ready to walk out halfway through. And I think it was only
I
because
believe I heard something very close to that,
He was contracted to finish it, and he just went and decided, okay, I'm doing it.
The company toe the company line, basically, as it were, or nothing comes out type thing, which, again, would have been a disaster if this film never came out.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, this film needs to exist.
It does. It kind of did. As a lot of people said, it was a refreshing change that they needed to see in the series because it had. Because
again, it's probably the most original Godzilla film in the entire series.
It is. It very much is. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I love it so much.
So, and it's a shame that it went from this, and then they felt like they took a step backwards again after.
And unfortunately, the Godzilla series after this just didn't, stay on its lofty goals, as it were. And
I will say this.
They went back to the well, maybe a bit too much.
Because I guess we're pretty much near wrapping this up.
Oh, yeah.
But after this film, it then went to production would probably be one of my very least favorite Godzilla flicks. Yeah,
and I will agree on that, but that will be next time when we discuss the rest of the Millennium series.
Next time.
We will see
you. The final of the Millennium series, and we'll cover all three. We'll cover Mechagodzilla, Tokyo SOS,
and
Final
Wars.
Wars.
So we will see you in just a couple weeks.